Hello, Year 10. Just to start us off before we get into the business end of this lesson, I thought we could start with a kind of quick pop quiz, similar to how we would do this in the lesson. All I want you to do is summarise the reactions of these countries to the Treaty of Versailles, which came about in 1919 at the end of World War One. France, Britain, USA, and Germany. Just a sentence or so for each. Try and do that by yourself. If you are stuck, remember to refer to the knowledge organizer, which I will make sure is attached on Frog, and in particular look at the section that I have circled to try and help you on that. But as I said, try and do it yourself first. It would help you enormously. So as far as what we're looking at today, we're looking at one of the other agreements that came about in the earlier years of the League of Nations. Indeed, this one's one of the more interesting ones because it's still technically in law to this day and is still supposedly adhered to by the countries that signed it. There's an easy way to remember it. It's known as the Kellogg Briand Pact. Kellogg Briand Pact. And what I'm aiming for you to do today is to describe what the Kellogg Briand Pact is, explain the positives and negatives of this pact, and to assess the success of the pact itself. So the first thing I want you to do is read the actual text of the Kellogg Briand Pact that I have attached, and just trying to summarize what exactly it was. What format you do that in is entirely up to you. Spider diagram, mind map, bullet points, paragraph, entirely up to you. But try to get this information down using the 5 W's. Okay. As a challenge, you could summarize the pact in 30 words. And then once you've done that, I would like you to copy this table, positives and negatives, of the pact, and fill it in using your own knowledge and understanding. If you are stuck, use the brief overview sheet to help you, but try and again do it independently first, if at all possible. And then finally get to writing down a judgment on how successful you think the Kellogg Briand Pact was. But when you look back at the, and this also applies for the positives and negatives task as well as this, the positives are quite obvious when you actually realise what the Kellogg Briand Pact was, and it might seem quite straightforward to fill that in. But when it comes to the negatives and the sort of drawbacks of this, you need to use your brains a little bit here. And I'm not going to tell you what the big drawback is, but I just want you to think about how or what the league could do to enforce this. Okay, that's my big hint there. So, like previously, drop me a line if you are stuck on any of the tasks via email or on Teams. And best of luck. I've been really impressed with so many of you for how you've been getting your work into me, in such a timely fashion as well. It's really a true credit to all of you. But do remember, I am here. I can respond to questions that you have. Okay, best of luck, and make sure you submit that either on Frog or to me via my email.